On the grand opening of Zhanjiang Verbund in China's southern Guangdong province, BASF's Chief Technology Officer Stephan Kothrade sat down with Yicai after a first encounter at the 2019 groundbreaking. He reflected on what went as expected and what surprised him, and also discussed the path to profitability, artificial intelligence on the plant floor, and how China's green manufacturing credentials can translate into commercial returns.
BASF had a very clear vision, and the vision was to build a world-scale Verbund site that is extremely cost competitive, that is a lighthouse project for smart manufacturing, and that would be a global benchmark for sustainable chemical production. And I take pride in saying this vision has been created and has become our profitability expectation medium term. By 2030, we expect the EBITDA that we achieve with the new Zhanjiang Verbund site will be between 1 billion and 1.2 billion euros, and that's still our expectation. We are confident to get there.
From your perspective, what went as expected and what were some surprises in the whole process?
Yeah, first of all, I still remember the interview we had in 2019. At the time when we had the interview, I would say BASF had a very clear vision. And the vision was to build a world-scale Verbund site that is extremely cost competitive, that is a lighthouse project for smart manufacturing, and that would be a global benchmark for sustainable chemical production. And I take pride in saying this vision has been created and has become reality, as you can see today here on our site. And what confirms that the site is very competitive is that in the current market environment and all the headwinds we are facing from what's happening in the Middle East, still, after a smooth startup of our plants, the plants are running at a very high utilization rate. So whilst our competitors, many of them had to reduce their run rate, some even had to declare force majeure, given that we are having very good cost positions and we are having a mixed feed cracker that allows us to shift feedstocks between naphtha and butanes, we can run full. So this is working as it was expected, and we are very proud about it. Now you asked me also about what is unexpected, what came as a surprise. And actually there is a surprise, but it's a positive surprise. Because if you think of all the headwinds that came during the global pandemic, we had massive distortions of the global supply chains, and still our BASF team managed to execute the project and to build the site on schedule, even below budget, and with a top-class, world-class safety performance. The startup was very smooth, plants are running, and just to give you one detail, the startup of our steam cracker, it was really a world record. Ethylene, the main product, was on spec after only 9 hours. This is mind-boggling, I would say.
The management team of BASF mentioned that the Zhanjiang Verbund will be right this year in 2026, but will turn to positive next year in 2027. And why do you make such kind of a timeline or judgments?
That's absolutely true. If you build such a complex site of that scale, I mean, we talk here about a multi-billion euro greenfield investment, it's impossible to reach the full profitability on the very first day. And this has to do with startup costs that we still have, but also with the fact that the, let's say, parameters for utilities and production at a very early stage are still far from the optimum. So there is a steep learning curve. We will adjust this over the weeks to come, and it's quite normal and completely expected that in the first year you still will not see a high profitability. This will change starting from next year. And we also have clearly communicated our profitability expectation medium term. We said by 2030, we expect the EBITDA that we achieve with the new Zhanjiang Verbund site will be between 1 billion and 1.2 billion euros. And that's still our expectation. We are confident to get there.
Where is the confidence come from?
Well, as I said, we built here a site that is extremely cost competitive. It has the latest technologies. It's the most digitalized site that you can see globally. And this also means that in future, with all the innovation we have to expect from artificial intelligence, given that we have now all the digital infrastructure in place, this will make the site even more competitive. We have a mixed feed steam cracker, so we can use cost arbitrage between butanes and naphtha. We have very long value chains. We are not just having a cracker and polyolefins or MEG, but we have a portfolio of 70 diversified products that will also help us to play the value chain and to create value, sometimes more upstream, sometimes more downstream. And the site is 100% supplied with green energy. And not only that, we apply many new technologies. I give you one example. In the steam cracker, we have replaced the conventional drives, steam turbines that drive the main compressors in the cracker. These are big machines, 30 megawatt we are talking here about. We have replaced them by electric drives. It's the first steam cracker in the world that uses this technology. And this enables us to replace steam made from fossil energy like natural gas, shifted to green power supply. So 100% green power. We have applied other technologies. For example, we use the CO2 that is emitted from one production process, the ethylene oxide plant, and use it as a raw material to produce syngas. Combining all these factors together, we have here built a Verbund that emits 50% less CO2 compared to a conventional Verbund site that we would build. And if we compare ourselves to many competitors in China that are using coal as a raw material for the chemical production, we even have a factor of 3 to 4 times lower CO2 emission at the site. This is a fantastic competitive edge.
And in what ways do you think artificial intelligence can enhance the BASF's innovation, the production, and the other areas? And also, how can BASF participate in the artificial intelligence industry?
This is something I really think we have to embrace as an industry, but also, of course, as BASF. Now, I would say there's hardly any area where artificial intelligence cannot contribute to be more successful. I give you some examples. Let's start here at the site. We use agentic AI to run and optimize our warehouse logistics. So you don't have to do this manually with calculations. It's faster, it's more efficient. So this is just the state of the art, and you do it. Secondly, if I mentioned this, homogeneous state-of-the-art digital infrastructure that we built in the plants. We have many sensors. Here we get more data from the processes than in any other plant we have worldwide. And with artificial intelligence and big data analysis, you will see patterns. You will detect things that you have not seen or that an expert engineer would not simply detect by following the patterns of a DCS. And this will help us to gradually further improve the run rate of the plant, improving yield, reducing energy consumption, avoiding waste, reducing the time that you need for scheduled turnarounds, avoiding unexpected losses through unexpected hiccups in the production process. Many factors that will help to make the plants more cost efficient and running at a higher availability. And as we also talked about innovation, what we at BASF also do is we apply artificial intelligence to even design experiments and to do the analytics of the lab work, and we can massively reduce the time we need with a research program to come to a product that is ready to be launched to the market. So this is just the beginning. So there's many areas, and I'm pretty sure if we meet again in 6 years from now, this will be a standard in our industry.
If you could say something to yourself 6 years ago or 7 years ago when the project has just started, what would you say?
I have to say I'm extremely happy because I still remember how tense we were at the time when we launched the largest investment project in the history of our company. Many things can go wrong if you spend so much money, 8.7 billion euros. And I have to say, I'm now extremely proud. I'm extremely proud of the achievements of our BASF team and what they have managed to achieve. So implementation, execution of this project on schedule, despite of all the headwinds. They are below budget. We have achieved a world-class safety performance, a very smooth startup, world record when starting up the cracker. This clearly is a series of extraordinary accomplishments and a testament to the excellence of all the BASF colleagues around the globe that have been involved in China, but also abroad. And this makes me feel very humble, and I'm very proud to work for a company that has such a strong team. And this site that we built, it will create a lot of business opportunities for us in the future and be a major cornerstone of the green transformation of BASF and our industry in China. That's how I would look back now to the past 6 years.